Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the series where we are creating a web designer slash developer portfolio website. Last time we finished on the portfolio landing page extension here. We already had a portfolio section on the landing page, and we created an extension page for it where I'm going to be showing all of my work in more detail. Now, today we're going to be working on the work page or the single portfolio page. This portfolio is basically a collection of different works that I've done. So this page will be one page that goes into detail on all of those portfolios. So before we start, I want to add an inspiration. I already had a couple of inspirations, I know. Like this was the website which we have been inspired from the most, but I want to be adding an extra website. This is Solana Sony. This was the company or the agency, I think, that was responsible to design the MongoDB website's landing page and brand identity. And I really like the way they structured their case studies for showcasing their portfolio. Here you can see I'm just scrolling through the whole page. Now, I don't want to take much in terms of UI elements, in terms of the visual flair and the identity, but I want to take their structure and how they represented their content, because I really believe this is top way of like showing your work and your content. Like this website as well does it very nicely, but I think in terms of actual content, in terms of actual value, Solana Sony, this website really does it amazingly, uh, as you can see here. So we're going to be taking a mix of inspiration from those two websites, and we're going to be trying to create our own website in terms of that. Now, in terms of like inspiration, I want to talk about what my idea here is for the actual page we're building. I want it to be more image heavy than text heavy, because it's my understanding, or it's my experience, that most people rather see images than actually read much content. So I think it's better if we could focus on the assets and the images and illustrations more than we focus on the actual text. But the text is important to give context and some information that the user or the hiring manager is looking for. So we would need a good mix. So that starts obviously from the header, like we saw here. We didn't really put the page structure in terms of what section follows the next. We put it in terms of what we need. So what we need here is basically, first of all, a header. But before that, we always have to like look into those navigation models. The navigation models I'm talking about here, if you forgot, is like he had, I think, all works here. And next case, this is a model you can go into previous and next, stuff like that. I want a navigation model like this, but I want it to be like present each time the user scrolls, always. I was thinking that, but currently I'm rethinking that maybe we could have it together with the CTA, because when I'm presenting the work, I'm really trying to focus on the work and show the work as much as possible without any distractions. So I would say that a navigation model here is better to have it at the CTA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut this part, and I'm just going to say CTA plus navigation model. Great, so we're going to be having some snapshots plus content. Actually, it shouldn't be and content, it should be plus content. And obviously we do have a header. So I think today it's better if we work on the header, next time the snapshot and content, and after that we finish off with the CTA. Then finally we finish off the full wireframe with this. By the way, we are still on the wireframe, like in the wireframe stage of the design, so it's not like we have finished and move to the actual visual design part. It's just the wireframe. We are taking a look at the structure of our website and how one page and one section works with the other. Okay, so let's just duplicate this and let's remove everything here. Now here for the navigation, as I told you before, I want it to be immersive. I want it to be, once you're logged in into viewing the websites, into viewing the specific work, like you can't escape. It's like reading a book. So on a book you don't have like navigation, right? You don't have links and stuff. I want it to be like that, so I'm going to remove the navigation completely. But you might say like removing the navigation is bad UX, and you're completely right. We don't want to have bad UX. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the navigation and include it here on the CTA, on the final section of the website. The user can now go to back to the home, the about, stuff like that. Like it's not like we are completely locking the user until he reaches the end. There's always the Chrome buttons and browser navigation, stuff like that. But I want this to be very much immersive. So let's continue into designing the header now that we have the primary idea of the website laid out. So I'm going to say work, and this will be the header. Okay, let's just get it properly distanced from the rest here, 32. Let's move it down. Okay, let's start. Now, I want there to be an image first of all. So let's just take this. Actually, we can just take this. Instead we can just give this the background color like this. So implying that this is an image. On the background of stuff, there's an image. Then we need some information. Here, the only thing I don't like from the header here is you would need an extra scroll to actually see the information. While in this case, the information is laid out directly, but it's not as engaging since there isn't this image. You have to scroll to see it. So what I want to do is I want to mix them both. So this is the image, then I'm going to overlay some content. How am I going to do that? It's very simple. I want to say, for example, here, let's say we are working for Lean or HTML. Let's say HTML converter, since we focused on Lean last time. HTML converter. Obviously, notice that the font is temporary, as we discussed. If you want to actually see the font here is in the system. I believe this is the system we have, and these are the fonts that we're going to be using once the wireframe ends. I'm going to be sharing this Figma file at the end of this design part, so stay tuned for that. So at the final episode of the design, I'm going to be sharing this. Or at the final part of the wireframe, maybe I might share another page with everything here included, and the design will be shared once everything finishes. Okay, we want to make this big, obviously. Maybe this big, not that big. Okay, we want there to be a big header here, something like this. Yeah, actually something like this, but I want it to be 2 lines. I don't want it to take too much horizontal space. I'm gonna position this on the bottom left of our grid. Then we would have some additional content scattered around. For example, what additional content would we want? Maybe the user would want the project, the role, so the role I took. So I would say, for example, let's see how they took, okay, say role and the designer and creative director, here role service interact. Okay, so we can do this, but I think it's better if we do it in a way that is more natural instead of having a header and a description for it. I'm trying to think of a way that would make it feel like easy to read but natural. Again, you have to understand this series is completely showing my steps, so it's not like I have planned this beforehand. So I'm having two ideas that include interaction. So if I can have something like roll, so when people would hover over it, that would show like maybe something would pop up where I'm gonna say full stack developer, or vice versa, full stack developer role. But until the user hovers over it, he won't really know what my role was in the design. So maybe we could have the role be as a title and this be a description. I know I said that I don't want to do that, but here we're going to make it in a way that the role is actually with less visual hierarchy. So pretty small, and this should be a bit bigger here. Yeah, obviously when we actually design it outside of the wireframe, we would deal with it in a better way. But here I think this is perfect. Here, okay, role. So we can go 8 pixels, which is fine. Or we can actually flip this, if this works. Yeah, I think this works because I want to focus on this instead of the title, like, so I think this is much better. Okay. Role, actually slash service, this works very nice. I really like that. Or slash service. Okay. Next, credits. I don't really want to have that. Location, year. Okay, this is important actually. So setting, I think it was remote was the location. I don't think it has anything remote slash year time. So the time here would be, I forgot, it was 2021, 22. I don't really remember here. I think I wrote it down here. It doesn't really matter that I have the proper content here. Yeah, I didn't really, but it's worth having maybe. So let's just say 2021 for now, or 22. Let's say it's 22. Then this would be location slash time. And I want to say the ads. I don't remember the, is it Control Alt C? I don't remember how to type this. The copy right symbol. I think I've seen it many times, but this PC specifically doesn't work for some reason. You can have it like this, no problem. Location slash time here. Location slash time, it's actually just setting. Like I'm leaning towards the ideology of storytelling, so setting I think here works very nicely. Okay, so I think we have a bit more space on our hands here, so maybe we can go like this. And if we do that, I think there is a bit more space. So I think I want I want an additional system font, 128. Is this too much? Okay, no, I think it's too much. I'm gonna keep this here. Okay, role, then setting. Obviously, we want this to be hard content. Okay, let's continue. This is setting, by the way. We always should rename our layers here in Figma. What else? Outputs, MongoDB, blah blah. Okay, so what I want to have actually is software. So the stack I used, I think I used Astro for that, or was it Hugo? I don't quite remember. I'm just gonna say Hugo and Astro. Obviously that doesn't make sense, but it's just placeholder. We're gonna be dealing with the actual content using a CMS. As I told you before. Tech stack. Okay. One more maybe. One more. We could add what information would be useful. Maybe the price. Maybe the price of the project. Maybe it would. How would that like rub off on people? Trying to think. Maybe we could include this output part. Okay, maybe time period here. No, we said already. Time is this. Okay, we can just say location here. No, we can actually say timeline, project time, or project completion, or we can say just completion. I think it was like 2 weeks. I'm gonna say 14 days. One last information here. I would say company. It was HTML convert. Obviously we already have it here, but maybe people won't be so clear that it's the company, so I'm just gonna be safe and put it here. I want to now select everything here. Actually we have to rename this tech. This is duration or completion. This is company. Okay, so now we can select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of information, group them also here, and just go like this. Okay, nice. Now I would want to have a description here, but is this cluttered? I'm thinking maybe we don't need this at all. I think that looks much better. There is more space. So this is more info, and now I'm gonna have some description, the same that I would have here, right? So HTML convert. Okay, let's decrease the size. This should be 96 here. Around 14 pixels was fine, right? So HTML. Okay, HTML. Can't write HTML converter was a project. That aims to convert, to provide an open source conversion tool to change HTML direct syntax into HTML text syntax for educational and for education and documentation purposes. I think this was the brief. It's been a long time. I don't quite remember, but I think this is around what the project was. I wanna have this. Okay, so let's left align this. Actually, right align this, I mean. Hmm. Let's group these two. It's sort of the footer for this header. And also, okay, here. Perfect. Okay, so now we have everything we need, but this image would take center points and it's just gonna show the brand here with some good amount of description here. So I'm really liking this header. I think we're done with the header, so we can just group this two into the header or the main, you can say. We don't even need to group them actually. Yeah, so just more info, header, and this would be the image. I would want to have this image indicator inside here, just at the center, just showing that there's an indication that there is an image here. And I think that's quite it. I'm really positive that this is a very nice way where I'm just putting the product front and center while also providing sufficient information in a way that looks natural and in a way that looks like it doesn't look cluttered. You see, like if I had the text, for example, here, the reason I don't want to take so much UI layouts and stuff from this, but the actual content structuring is because, for example, if I'm a hiring manager, I'm thinking that I might read this. It's not like too much, but it might turn me off a bit. I might not want to read it just a bit. When I go here, I want to read everything because it's so spaced out and it's free, but there isn't as much content as it is being shown here. This is much more content and much more value, but this feels good to read. So I want to mix that up by spacing everything out and by putting the image front and center. We are creating an interest. It's not too heavy to read, while there is enough sufficient information here. So this is how you actually have to take inspiration from from like designs you see online. It's not like just copy the gradients, copy the font. It's about like getting to know what it does well in terms of providing actual value and in terms of how the user would interact with it. And from then you could implement what's good into your design on your own way. Of course, you don't want to just be stealing other people's design, copy pasting. You want to be taking what's good and adjusting it to your own brand and identity. And you want to be looking into what's bad and you want to be improving it in your own design. So yeah, that was today's video. Really hope you enjoyed. I really liked creating this video today. It was very informational, I think. Next time we're going to be working on, let me see here, we're going to be working on the snapshots and content, and we're going to be then working on the CTA and navigation. After that, we're going to be finishing off the work page. Again, thanks for watching. If you're interested, I have just released a 3 hour and 41 minutes full course of a full process of creation of a website, but it's less detailed, but it's a crash course that I think many beginners and intermediates would enjoy. So you can check it out in the channel. Thanks for watching again, and until next time, goodbye.